We're not together today, but it's okay. We're still together, but we're just not in the same place.
Yeah. Isn't that like the joys of podcasts is that you don't have to be together anymore. Like you can do it
Yes.
separately. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, it's very convenient, especially because if we have busy lives, but I do like being together. It always makes it more fun, more special. But obviously, it's a busy week for both of us, so we were like, okay, let's just record at home.
yep, let's do it. Let's record at home.
All
Nothing
right.
like it.
So we left off season 5. We're going into
Yes.
season 6.
Going into season 6.
And I was just telling Vanessa a little bit, like a second before we started the recording, I was like, I forgot how much I liked season 6. And I forgot last time how much I liked season 5. So I'm excited to get into season 6 today.
Yeah. I can't. When I was going through, because we're talking about highs and lows, I was going through and I was like, man, there was a lot in season 6 that I liked. There was a lot in season 6 that I didn't like that you just forget about
Yeah.
because so much happens in the span of an episode. But also, low key, a couple of friends of mine have started watching the show. And so one of them texted me this week and she was like, I'm getting started. And so she's like, yeah, so she just started she's never seen it before.
Okay.
And so she just started, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm at the episode where Brooke and Peyton go to the party." I was like, "Oh yeah, the Duke party." I was like, "Dang, girl, you're actually really far in. You're like 8 episodes in." She goes, "Wow, you really do know this show." Well, that's impressive. I said, "That's nice that's impressive. It seems like a weird flex, but yeah, I know exactly where you are, and I like episodes 16 and 17, and I like the Duke episode because it's technically Haley and Nathan's first date, and so."
Yes. Yeah. I
So
do
she's
like that
she's
episode because of
invested.
that too.
She's
Well, that's good.
invested now. So
Uh,
anyway,
well, hopefully she starts also listening to our podcast after she watches each season. She has like a little recap with us.
yes.
Hopefully.
She's like, now I'll know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, well, welcome to the club.
Yeah. So, all
But
right, should we just
let's just dive in
let's
because
go.
I feel like there's a lot to get through.
There really is. I have a lot of notes. So let's
I
go.
know I'm trying to figure out like what I want to start off with, but I think I'm gonna start off with, and this is how I wrote it: the cape.
Okay, we're going right into it.
We're just gonna just jump right in.
Just,
The
I
cape.
thought this was going to come later in the episode,
Oh.
but it's okay. Let's get into it now. Let's get the feels out the way because
So one, there's lots of things that play into the cape. So like another one of my highs is Haley confronting Chuck's mom about being bullying Jamie about the cape, chef's kiss. And then Jamie having the cape, Nathan coming in with the
Mhm.
cape and showing the kids that it's cool, to then the final caveat of Jamie wanting to make Q the cape and making the cape thinking that it was going to bring him back, to
Yes.
then throwing the cape over his casket. Just
Okay, yeah, cuz so in my notes, I made the Quentin that whole episode. I made it like an entirely different section because I thought we were going to like dive into that and
we
really get
can.
into it. And yeah, so I'm like we're just going for it right out the gate. But that did happen so early on in the season, and I think there
I
was an episode a few episodes back where I kind of brought it up and I was like, "Oh, but like actually, I think it was last episode because you were saying like Q, like you mentioned Q as a high,
yeah,
and I didn't say it was a high because of his significant presence in 6. But
yes,
realistically, I
it's not
think
that
there was,
much.
it's not that much because, well, it is and it isn't because they talk about him a lot. And then there's still that storyline going on throughout the season. But I think what it was, oh, I remember now. Early on in one of our first 1 or 2 episodes, I talked about how I started watching One Tree Hill because of that trailer for season 6 with
Yep,
Brooke getting
with Brooke.
attacked, and which is another thing on my notes that we're gonna have to get into as well, which was very prominent in the season. But I think you said, "Oh, I think that might have been season 5," and I was like, "No, it was season 6."
Season 6.
And I think you felt that way because it almost felt like it could have been a part of season 5. It
Mm-hmm.
almost felt like those first 2, 3 episodes could have been also part of the end of season 5 because it
Yes,
was so close into the storyline. So I was
yes.
like, maybe that's why Vanessa thought that because it happened so early.
Well,
And
yeah,
I
because
didn't remember it happening that soon.
I also didn't remember that like that's how it opens.
Yes.
Or I get, is that how
So what
Don't
happens
Kill Us
is
fans at the end of 5, is that her getting attacked and then the
so
beginning of
no,
6?
no, no. The end of the first episode of season 6, because so here's the thing. I've also been rewatching because I wanted to make sure like my notes are very accurate
Right.
when we're doing this. But she gets attacked. It's the end of the first episode of season 6.
Man, I as much One Tree Hill knowledge that I know, I could have sworn that that happened in season 5 just because that's when she gets the store, she opens the store.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a
Yeah.
cliffhanger.
Well, like I said, I
So,
mean, it happened. It literally happens the first episode right after season 5. So I mean,
that's wild.
it feels like it could be a part of season 5, and then right after that, it's the second. It's the next second or third episode that then Q gets shot, and then there's the funeral. So I'm like, this literally happened in the first 3 episodes of the show.
Yeah, it's like the first 4. He
Yeah,
isn't there much longer into 6.
yeah. But it felt like when you brought him up as a high in season 5, for me, I was like, it felt more like a high for him in season 6. And I think it was because of everyone's reaction to
Yeah.
what had happened to him. I think that is what made him such a high for season 6, because it was like he did turn himself around. And then into season 6, it was like you saw the effect that he had on everybody in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So,
I agree. So like season 5 is this build up. He comes in, he's the hothead. He gives Hales a hard time, and then she gives him the book and he starts reading the book, and then he talks to Jamie, and like their friendship kind of comes together. He's there with Nathan and Nanny Carey
mhm.
and all of that whole debacle. And then he then wants to start training Nathan. So like by season 6, and he's kind of coming into this welding and weaving his way into all of the characters, and then to lose him so quickly after you've spent season 5 essentially getting to know him and building up his rapport, of like, man,
So wasn't it
that
said though
episode.
that they, I mean, obviously it brought more to the storyline with, it's spoiler alert for anyone who's
Yeah,
not, who plans
it
on
comes
watching it.
back.
You might want to fast forward a little bit.
Yeah.
But more spoiler alert about like who was responsible for the attack and the shooting is the same person. So like just I think they tied that in very well, but they obviously kept that a mystery. We didn't know about that being
Oh yeah.
Brooke's attacker until way later in the season. But
Okay, here's this. uh oh, I guess. Oh, so in my head, I
mhm.
thought we as viewers saw Xavier when he attacked Brooke. We never saw him
No, because he had a mask.
because he had a
And
mask.
yes,
We saw him with Q, and I was like,
yes,
oh, is that something that we all missed? And that was like foreshadowing, but it wasn't. It was the fact that he then says, "Have a nice
nice
night," is
night.
what
And Brooke
the
puts it together when she goes to
yes,
save Sam, which
th
again, these are
that
all
whole
things
thing.
that, this is what I'm saying. There's so much to unpack in this season. Like my notes are insane and we're jumping around right now. But to get
Yeah,
back to the cue of it all, the cue of it all, I like that.
the Q
That
it
needs to
all.
be on something. To the cue of it all. Uh, but I honestly forgot now where I was. But anyways, just I think he had another project going on. So I feel like he got written out of the show very quickly because it was either one project or the other. Am I
Oh.
right about that? I feel like that happened.
I feel like in the Drama Queens podcast, they talked about he was surprised that he was getting written out. And so I don't know if he had another
Okay.
project,
Okay.
or like how that all kind of tied in, but I do
Because then
remember
he
him
still
being
popped up in
surprised.
other episodes. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
And
so
he
they
did
still
say
brought
that
him
in
in.
his interview, that they
Okay.
said that this was happening, but to trust them. So I think when they when they wrote him out, or killed him off or whatever, they had told him, don't worry, like you are going to have some more appearances down the road. And obviously when you hear that your character is dying, you're like, how am I going to have more appearances down the road? So
Yeah.
but same thing, like Katie, she was, for later in the
Hmm.
seasons, in the series, a new character, Clay's wife. Obviously
Yeah.
they killed her off, but then she has, reoccurring role still. So,
Yeah.
but
So,
man,
I mean, since we're talking about it though, I mean, the funeral episode, brilliantly done. But like, I cannot watch it still to this day. I mean, even rewatching it again, I was bawling like a baby. Like I know what's going to happen, and yet I'm crying the entire episode. And like, you just lose it at the end when like Brooke finally breaks down because she's standing next to Jamie, and he went just. I gotta go through my notes. Hold on, real quick. Like, here we go. Cue funeral episode. It literally is just a big chunk of my notes. I said the end of the episode of like episode 2, where we see, like, we don't see him get shot, but we know what happened. Obviously, like, we knew it happened even before the phone call to Lucas. You just knew that that's where it was going.
Yeah.
Episode 3, I said not a dry eye ever. The words and the imagery on Brooke's mirror, because like just seeing that, like when she circled everything from her attack and like just the words, and it just felt so angry, and I was like, this is a Brooke we haven't seen yet.
It was the flip of the projector episode
Yeah.
where she's in there and she's saying not worthy enough and she has all of her fears written across her. That was very powerful. But then to have it go to that and have her be like revenge, all of those things. And then fast forward to Peyton rewriting over those things. Like
Yes,
that whole
that
whole
was in my
thing.
notes too. Yep, about
So
Peyton
good.
rewriting it later.
Yes.
But yeah, just the imagery of that, like seeing that was like moving, and then the writing on Q's desk when they all started like all the students were writing on his desk. Love that
Okay,
moment.
you're talking about the desk. One of my lows is Haley's friggin' reaction to Sam sitting in Q's desk. Homegirl, this girl clearly doesn't know.
Yeah, like
I don't think
you
she
could have
handled
done
that well
that.
at all.
You could have done that in a little bit of a more tactful way.
I did not like that, whatever. I said, get up.
Yeah.
Okay, she's clearly new. Get out.
No.
Did not like that at all. So,
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like Haley has some moments sometimes where I'm like, ooh, like she's a little spicy. But yeah, no. But the when the students were all writing on the desk, I love that moment. I wrote we need more of Nathan and Brooke's friendship. I felt like
I wrote that too.
yes, because like every time they would share a scene, and it was not very often, but when they did, you saw how the two of them were so similar, and they both broke like the mold of what their parents were like, and they broke that about themselves. And I love that they have that connection. When he came to see her and he's like, listen, we all have our stuff, but that doesn't mean your stuff isn't as important. I was like, Nathan.
Yes, actually, is that one of my. Crap, did I write that as a low?
Maybe you wrote it as a low because you're like, we need more of it.
I think it was a low only because, like, yes, Nathan went to her. I also think that the fact that nobody was like, homegirl, did you really fall down the stairs? The fact that no
Yeah.
one had that
Like
thought.
question that. Yeah.
So I like that Nathan went to her, and I agree with that part of it. But I also didn't like that he was like, everyone has stuff. Like, your friends are here for you. Like, she was just
Hmm.
so guarded and closed off. I just feel he could have approached it differently.
Yeah.
But obviously, that was the catalyst, the first domino effect. But
Hmm.
I do like that they have that same thing. They had that a little bit in 4 when he went to her after finding it, the sex tape. And just even later, I feel like it happens a lot in the later seasons where they do come together and like both sets of our parents were wild and like we turned
Yep.
out okay. And the way that he does come alongside her every now and then in the series, I do like a lot.
Yeah. And then Deb going to Skills at the funeral. I was like, whew. I was like, it was rough for everyone to figure it out, but at the same time, I'm like, the fact that she was just like, he needs me,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, Deb, he needs you. Like, you gotta
Yeah.
go. You gotta go
You
to
got to
him.
do it.
Q's brother putting his jersey on and standing with the team. That's what I'm saying. It's like I can't with these moments. And then the last thing, Jamie going back to the grave, putting the cape over it, Brooke finally breaking down. It was just like, again, I cry every single time I watch the episode, and I know what's going to happen. It's like when I watch Selena. I know what's going to happen. I cry every time when that Dreaming of You comes on and they are showing the family heartbroken in the hospital. I'm like, I cry every time.
Every time.
Every single time. Does not matter.
Gosh, I know. And you just said something too. Oh, that was one of my lows was Nathan's reaction to Devin's skills.
Oh, yes.
That
I
was
would agree.
definitely a low.
Yeah.
But back to the heartfelt things. There were just so many things.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say something that might be a little controversial.
Oh, hot take. We got a hot take?
I loved Q's mom. Thought she
Yep.
was great.
Uh-huh.
Her whole spiel when Haley's like, "How do you do it?" And all of a sudden the show takes like a real religious turn.
Mm.
As a religious person, I feel that seems like a weird thing, but it was so jarring of a when that's never been a component of the show
Hmm.
to then like have that like worked in.
Yeah.
Yay for whoever did it, like yay, sharing your faith. But I just remember that being like, oh, oh, okay, that's what we're doing now? So I thought that was interesting. Loved the moment, loved the sentiment. I'm not saying I don't want to be like, I thought that was stupid.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
just so jarring of a turn of the
Interesting.
show.
I never thought about it. Like I like the fact
Really?
that it was like a thought process in your head. Like it never crossed my mind. I was just like, oh, okay.
And I was
I
like,
will
look at
say
One
a
Tree Hill.
low. I did have a low though about the brother. Not like he's a cutie. Don't get me wrong. I'm not no issues with like him in general. But the low was that how is it that Jamie has not met him before? Like they're in the same town. Are they not in the same elementary school? Like I
Oh
lived
yeah,
in I lived in a small area when I was growing up, and like there was two elementary schools. And
yeah.
at my elementary school, it was like there was two classes per grade. Like I knew everybody in my school, whether I was in class with them or not.
I think what I think. So Tree Hill is the public high school. Then there's the elementary school, and then there's like the Oppenheimer School for the Gifted.
Yeah.
I think Jamie goes to a private school. The way that Dan has to go pick him up, the way that the school looks, the way that the school is laid out, I think Jamie goes to a private school where Andre
Oh,
probably
okay.
goes to the public school. That's just how I understood that. Like, and maybe Q is across town.
But like Chuck is going to the private school. I mean, again, we don't know about Chuck's home life until later, but like Chuck's
That's
going to
true, but
private school.
that's a good point. Yeah, so that's just also kind of the vibe that I got. And also Q talks about his brother in season 5, like, oh, I have a little brother,
He
whatever.
does,
So that's
but that's where
that
I
is
was
very
like,
strange. Why wouldn't
yeah,
Q be like, you want to come hang out with my little bro
yeah, like oh, I'm gonna hang out with Jamie, but like, why aren't you also hanging out with your
with your
brother
little
and
brother?
Jamie? Yeah, so I don't know. I just felt like they could have tied in him a little bit more, which again they do now after Q's death because then they have like the karaoke episode where
Yeah,
like
they're
who is it
bonding and they're
being?
hanging out and spending
Yeah,
the night together.
yeah,
Also, you told me this, you had to have told me this.
okay,
You thought that the series should have ended rather than Jamie just coming out onto the court, Jamie and Andre coming out onto the court.
yes.
I agree, 100%. When you said that, I got chills. I was like, I love that.
Yeah, so again, like I just felt like they used the kid, but then they didn't use him
They
the right way.
didn't
Like I
use the
felt like
kid. Yeah.
yeah, like I felt like they could have used him a little bit more, especially like the fact that him and Jamie were the same age. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And again, like I said, like how do you people not know each other already? So again, like you
Yeah.
said, maybe the private school, maybe not. I don't know, but I don't believe Chuck now going to the private school if that's the theory. So, but, you know, we'll get into that later on
That's fair.
because Chuck is not super relevant yet, but
Yet.
yes.
He is a little bit because he has to go on that date with Skills and Lauren.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen yet. That doesn't happen in season 6. Does it?
Does it?
It doesn't
Does
happen in
it
season
not?
6. It
I
doesn't
thought it
happen in
did.
season 6. I just started the start of season 7. I don't think it happened in 6. I think it was in 7. Because
Skills and Lauren.
yeah, because Skills and Deb were still dating for a while. Remember, she didn't have the realization of like breaking up with him until he said that he wanted to have kids. Because remember, they break up first because Nathan was unhappy about it. Then Nathan's okay about it, so they get back together. And I
You're
think that that
right.
starts at the beginning of season 7 because then we meet Lauren because Dan they have the imaginary date because Jamie has a crush on his teacher.
You
I'm pretty sure that's 7.
start up at some point in season 6.
Oh, okay, maybe. Okay. I could be
Hold on,
okay.
let's see.
I just thought him and Deb I thought that didn't happen until season like early season 7, him and Lauren.
Okay, I have
Because
to figure
then
this out now.
Skills was teaching the Pee Wee basketball and that's when Deb walked over and he was like, "Oh, I can't wait to have like one of our own or whatever." And she like makes a face as he walks away, and I'm like, "Yeah, she's not having children, buddy." Um, I like how you're really investigating. This is
I
fun.
am, because I'm like, no, I could have sworn that as I was going through this, they had talked about the fact
If they
that
did, it was like very towards the end of season 6 because it was them now bleeding into my season 7. This is the problem with these later seasons is that they kind of are starting to bleed together at the beginning and the end.
I know, I'm just trying to remember. Oh no, because Dan advises Jamie on the crush. That happens in episode 16, and the crush is Miss Lauren
Yeah, but I don't think Lauren and Skills happen until
until
season.
7.
Yeah.
What in the
Well, I
world?
think what happens is I think they get introduced because of the wedding. I think they get introduced at the end of season 6, right? Because something happens where like Skills is watching Jamie like a hawk because of the previous wedding, right? Am I right about that?
Skills is watching Jamie at Lucas and Peyton's wedding, so he
Yes.
already would have had to have gone on a date with Miss Lauren.
I thought he had just like met Miss Lauren, but maybe the date did happen and I just didn't make it a point to put it in my notes. Maybe that's why. Maybe I just it wasn't relevant enough for me. Maybe I'm
I'm
just
just
confusing it. Maybe you're right. I don't
I'm
know.
so invested now. I gotta figure it out. What is the answer? She searches for Sam.
If you go to Wikipedia, it has a breakdown of
That's what
like all
I'm
that.
on. That's what I'm
Okay.
on. That's what I went to.
We'll get to it. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. You know what? I'm gonna get on it now.
Carrie breaks into the house. Peyton and Lucas's wedding.
If it happened towards the end of the season, right? We're thinking
Yeah.
Dan and Deb are left to babysit Jamie. I remember that episode. He discovers the truth about Dan and Uncle Keith. You know what I'm gonna I'm gonna go to Chat GPT and I'm gonna say, what episode
Yeah,
did
like
Skills
I
and Lauren
just
from One Tree Hill go on their date?
season 6 episode 12.
But they didn't really get serious though until later,
No, I
right?
didn't say that they were serious. I'm just saying that
Okay,
they went on a date and Chuck was there.
episode 16.
16?
That's what it says on my thing here. This episode is where the movie casting is happening and Skills asks Jamie's teacher Lauren out. Their relationship begins from there and continues into later episodes in season 6. If you want, I can list all their major moments or episodes they appear together. But episode 16 was their first date. So you are
Okay.
correct. You are correct.
Why did we even start talking about this?
Because we were talking about Skills and Deb.
Oh,
And
and
we were
Deb.
talking about, and then we talked about,
Okay, here's the crazy thing, listeners. We're still talking about the same season. So the fact that we're jumping around timelines in the same season, that's what to go from Brooke being attacked at the beginning of season 6 to how it ends to essentially being with Julian, you will have to understand the like Julian still has to come into town. They still
I
have to
don't, we
try to
haven't even
make the
gotten there
movie.
yet.
Sam's still involved somewhere in this debacle. Jack Daniels is in this timeline.
Yeah. Evan
Finding out,
Peters, that was a high for me. Evan
yes,
Peters.
finding out that the same person who killed Q is the same person that attacked Brooke. Same season. So much happens in season 6. You were right. The way that you broke it down makes complete sense because so much happens in each episode.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, frick, maybe you're right because she was with Skills at the very beginning, and you're right. They
I
still have to
know.
babysit. She still has to talk about not wanting kids. Like that has to come later. So Lauren, you're probably right. Lauren probably happens in 7 because also Dan helps Jamie in season 6 with Miss Lauren. She goes to his
I know.
house.
I know. It's crazy how much happened in season 6, but that's why I literally broke my notes down by like characters or like relationships because
Yeah, you
like
have to.
just a general gist of what my notes were. I had Lucas and Peyton, all of their stuff in one section. Mouth and Millie, another section. I had a whole Jamie section. Brooke, Julian, and Sam were the biggest section in my thing. Brooke and Payne a little bit. Q funeral episode, entirely separate. Nathan and Haley, I had notes. I had miscellaneous notes, and then I had a whole thing on the finale itself. Like I have so many notes about season 6, it's insane. Like we might need to break this up. I'm not even joking. Like
Right,
this
this might have to
episode,
be a first half
this
of
might have to be
season
a first part one, part two, because I don't think we're going to get through all this and keep our listeners intrigued
entertained.
enough for longer than an hour. I mean, we
True.
will, but like, I just saying,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we could continue to talk about it, but I think you're right. Like the first half of season 6 may as well be its own season, I
it,
feel.
I, it could be like its own series. I could break down season 6 and do like multiple episodes about this season
Yeah.
to the point where this season now actually, when we talked about the last time we got together and we're like, oh, we should rank the seasons one time. I'm like, season 6 is up there now. Like I
So
forgot.
much happens.
Yeah. 6 is my favorite number, so makes sense.
But then also, so much I'm just realizing, recapping 5 to all the things that occur in 6 to jumping to 7
I know. Well,
feels like
because
an
here's
entirely different life.
well, so this is something else that I kind of was going to bring up is that remember how we said after season 4 it felt like you could kind of wrap it up with a bow,
Yes.
and it almost felt like after season 7 you could almost wrap it up with a bow again the way it
Season
ended.
6.
The
I feel like season
finale,
6 ended like that could
because
have been the end of
it
it.
ended like on a happy note again, just
Yes.
like how season 4 ended. So it's
Yes.
like season 4 could have been the end of it. Season
Yep.
6 could have been the
Could
end
have
of
been the
it.
end of it.
And then of course they get into the drama again. So like season 9 obviously was again the final straw. But
Yeah.
because they always ended for a dramatic show, I will say they did a very good job of like making it end well. Like
Well, I wasn't that because
most,
they weren't ever sure if they were going to get signed again like that. They talk about that in the
yeah,
podcast a lot.
but
We don't
also
know.
like there was, I feel like a lot of dramatic shows, a lot of people walk away and they're just like, oh, I hated the finale. I hated how it ended. Because how
Yeah.
do you end a dramatic show? You, it's hard. It's hard to end it on a positive note. And they managed to do it in 3 different seasons that we thought this could be it. Because again,
Good point.
spoiler alert, I'm jumping to the finale really quick. The last shot is Lucas and Peyton driving away.
Yeah.
And we all knew that that was going to be their last season.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, this could be the end because
This could be the end.
the way they wrapped up everybody's storylines. I'm like, okay,
Yep.
I could be good with this. Like Brooke went to go see Julian. Now we're
Yep.
getting into that. Brooke went to go see Julian.
The fact that
Um,
that even happens in this season is wild.
yeah,
That she goes back on the
yeah,
movie set to
yep,
see him.
yes, and that's
Same
how
season.
she goes because her mother having a heart
Is the
now.
one to do it? See, we might need to break this up, everybody.
I think
This is
so. We're not
wild.
okay. We're not going to unpack the finale right now. I want
We
to
can't.
save that for the end, but we got to
Yeah,
go. There's so much more that we need to cover that we just haven't even touched base on yet.
I
So,
know. Okay. This all started because I said the cape.
yes. And look at where we've gotten, and we haven't even covered half of what we need to talk about. This is insane. Just one word, people did it. Cape. There was one thing actually that you said that you didn't mention in your cape that I had
Oh, tell me more.
written down was, again, it wasn't anything like super important, but just when Nathan goes to Brooke and says, can you make this happen?" And she's like,
Oh
"You're
yeah, him
asking
going
like a
through.
tall feat," but and he goes,
Yeah,
"It's for Jamie," and she's like, "God damn it, I will do anything for that
I will
child."
do
So
anything.
yes.
I will make a dozen capes for you. Yes, yes, I did like that. Him going to Brooke for the capes. But it's interesting that okay, so another interesting thing. Nathan goes to Brooke for the capes.
Mhm.
Haley makes the cape for Q.
She did. Yeah, because Jamie said, because at first Jamie just had the one cape for himself. And then he's like,
Yes.
I want to make this for Q. And then
Yes.
Jamie continued to wear it after Q's death. And then he
Yes.
was getting made fun of by Chuck.
Mm.
So then that's when I think Nathan was just like, well, Brooke's a fashion designer. She could probably whip this up a lot faster
That's
than
true.
Haley's going to. So I get what you were saying because she helped make the one for Quentin, but making one is obviously a lot different than making,
Oh yeah, because those two
yeah,
things happen. Jamie didn't get made fun of for the cape first. Q saw the
correct.
cape. He liked the cape. Mom, I want to make Q a cape.
Yes.
She makes the cape. He continues to wear the cape in honor of
Mhm.
Q. Then gets made fun of. Now Nathan needs a dozen capes
Yeah.
on the fly and enter in Brooke. See, I'm telling you, so much happens in
Oh my
freaking
God. Okay.
6.
Now that just unlocked another memory in my head. The
What?
cape that he had for Q was in the treasure box that he gave him. Like, just pull it out of that box was such a moment. Remember, Q gave Jamie, he's like, this is my treasure box. And he was like, put all the
Um,
important things in there. And I was like, but then again, also, I was like, but why wouldn't you give that to your brother? Or maybe he did. Maybe we just, it's an afterthought that we don't see on camera. I don't
they
know.
did
But
not wrap up Q's. I mean, they didn't tie in Q's storyline and his family and like that dynamic very well.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. Like, it would
yeah,
have been nice to see him, like,
actually be a big
prior.
brother.
Well, also that. And then also, like, to tie in his mom maybe a little bit sooner of like her seeing the change in him. Like, who is this that has you doing your homework? Who is like, who's
Yeah.
helping you with your basketball? And like, who, you know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't know.
Like
It
in
just would have been nice to tie that in a little bit.
does that happen in Coach Carter? Where the mom brings his kid into the store where the coach is and she was like,
Oh my God. It's been
he'll play for
forever
you.
since I've seen that
I'm
movie.
pretty sure it's Coach Carter.
Okay.
Because he said that he wasn't going to do it, and you're going
Yeah.
to do it. And so she brings him into the store. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's Coach Carter. I
Okay.
would have loved to have seen like that, maybe
I got to
tied in.
rewatch that one. That's a great movie. I haven't watched that in forever. And
Coach
I'm the queen
Carter
of rewatch. So,
and Remember the Titans. My favorite
oh,
quote comes from Coach Carter.
Remember the Titans is like top 3 all time favorite movie. One of mine.
Chef's
I
kiss.
never get tired of watching that movie every time.
Yep.
Left side,
Strong
strong side.
side. Actually, literally just quoted Remember the Titans to my two managers the other day because I got kudos at work, and so I wrote uh, attitude reflects leadership.
Oh,
So
nice. I came home from work one night, and for our viewers who don't know, I live in a townhome with my parents, but like we have separate space. But when I walk in the hallway, I can like sometimes hear what
hear
they're
what they're watching.
watching or listening to. And my dad was watching Remember the Titans because he likes sports, so he was rewatching the movie, and it was on the part where the coach was doing that speech where he's like, "You blitz all night," and I walked in and I was like reciting it like word for word, like with the TV because I just love that
Yes. You drop a
part.
pass, run a mile.
Oh, yep.
Perfection.
He's like, you make sure they remember the night they play the Titans.
Yes.
Classic.
Oh,
Classic.
it's such a good movie.
I know. Man,
I
we
will
are all
say
over the place
we
today,
we
but I
are.
love it. But I love it.
I posted on my social media that it's clear that a lot of you have not watched Remember the Titans, and it shows. My mother-in-law messaged me and she's like, "What is this movie?" I was like, "It's Remember the Titans," and she goes, "Oh, so it's some football movie." I was like, "It is not just some football movie. It is so much more than that.
Yeah.
You should watch it.
Yeah. I
It's
think sometimes
great."
too, I think sometimes people are really they shy away from watching some sports movies, but
Sure,
like because they
I'm
think
not a
it's just
sports girly, and
well,
I freaking love that
but it's also
movie.
because they think it's sometimes just all about the sports, and like
Sure.
there's certain ones that are,
I hear that
but
about One Tree Hill sometimes. Like, oh, it's a basketball show. Sure, there's
and you're like,
basketball in
no,
it.
it's a lot more. Yeah.
It's so much more.
But I always feel that way about Remember the Titans. And another one that I love to rewatch is Miracle. I love watching Miracle.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Oh, girl, it's about the U.S. Olympic hockey team when
I
they
know
beat the
that the hit.
Russians. It's
I know it's about
I mean,
hockey, but
well, the thing is like honestly, that's probably why I like those two movies so much because it's based on like true events.
true
So
events.
I like stuff like that. But it's also a Disney movie because Remember the Titans was a Disney movie as well. But if you ever get a chance to watch Miracle, I highly suggest it. I mean, there's parts where you're like, oh, it's kind of slow, but just like the whole thing behind it and the coach, he is crazy, but like he's so good like at what he does, and just the fact that he got this underdog team to win the gold medal. I mean, it was crazy. So it's a good one. I'd give it a watch.
I'm like Mouth.
Yeah.
I always love an underdog story. Always love an underdog
Well, let's
story.
get into Mouth and Millie because I had a couple notes on them since we brought up Mouth now in the sports. I think
Ooh,
that's a good
okay.
segue.
Did I have Mouth and Millie? I had some highs from Millie.
Okay. I kind of grouped them
Uh,
together. So maybe some of my my topics will kind of fall into yours. I don't know.
I think the only, I mean, I only have two. So my only one is Millie's list for Brooke, not related to Mouth.
Okay.
Um, I
I did
loved,
like that list. I had
I did
that.
like that list.
Yeah.
And now I'm questioning everything. I'm like, did this even take place? But it had to have. Um, Mouth and Gigi, stupid. So,
Yes.
so dumb. Again, I think that goes back to the creator and just like how he made Gigi into this like every
Overtly
college, yes, I was
sexual.
like, what are the words I'm looking
Yeah.
for?
No, I
Just
know exactly what you were going for. I wrote Gigi
college
annoying.
girl who's down for anything and is drinking on the job and just being stupid. I hated that whole entire storyline for her. One,
Yep.
because she's amazing as an actress, and that just,
Yeah.
they really sold her
Most of
short.
my Mouth and Millie notes are lows
Yeah.
for their storyline. It just in
Yes.
general. It was a lot of lows. I put Mouth leaving. I'm pretty sure it was due to like Lee had to leave for a while. Because why
Hmm.
did he leave and go to another state? It had to be, right. I'm like, I didn't get why he was leaving. I was like, this is just weird to me. So like I feel like his
Oh, yeah, maybe
like him in real life, he probably had
had
to do
something.
something that he had to be gone for so many episodes because he was such a prominent character at that point. I'm like, why is he leaving? It just didn't make sense. I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me. So that I didn't like. But I did like, when Lucas went on his so-called failed
Book
book
tour.
tour, that it woke him up and he was like, I'm coming back. But again, it felt like, oh, Lee's back now. Like, let's bring him, like, he's available again. Let's bring him back in now to the story. So it just, I didn't like that whole thing. Like I said, wrote Gigi annoying. It's like, I love when I just have a name and just one word and I'm like, it sums it up just right there. Mouth letting Gigi sleep on the bed, all around gross behavior.
Make her sleep on the couch and you sleep in
Yes,
your
that's
bed.
what I'm saying. She just shouldn't have been on the bed. Like
If
that's
you
just
were dating her, she can take the bed and you can sleep on the couch. But you are not dating her. This is a drunk college girl that you took home. You couldn't have taken her home to her house.
yeah. Like I don't understand why
Why was
she had
she
to
there?
come. Why she had to come there. But again, I think this is tying into they're kind of making like Mouth behave like Nathan with the whole nanny Carrie of it. Like they're not going to act on it, but they like the attention that they're getting, kind of
Yeah,
thing. So I think
sure.
that's why they were doing it that way. And then just obviously we touched base a little bit on this in the previous episode, even though it happens this season. But the whole Mouth Millie virginity thing,
I know. I wrote that virginity mouth is dumb.
yeah. I mean, that was all my notes on them. It was pretty
I
short
will
though.
say, this comes into play later. Robert Buckley talks about it. Millie goes from 0 to 100 real quick. A
Yes.
lot. Like, how? So they're what? 22, 23. As someone who was a virgin at 22, 23,
Mm.
I do not. She goes from there's a picture of her on the desk. She's still partially clothed. Should Mouth have deleted it? Yes. But for her to then jump to making the decision of, well, I'm just going to have sex with whomever and I'm just going to get this over with, is a wild jump. It is
Yeah.
wild.
Yes. No, I completely agree with you.
Was it
However,
her 100% her right? Uh-huh. Yes.
yes.
Was it Mouth's? No. She can choose to do with it like I'm very much in support of that.
Hmm.
It's her decision. She can do what she wants with it. It just seemed like a really big jump
Yeah.
to make because she isn't even sure that he's done anything. Like
Hmm.
physically. Like Rachel has come back. Has Rachel come back at this point?
She
Did
didn't. No, she didn't come back yet. She did. She's not in
she
this
did in
season.
the other season. She
She
was
was in season 5 briefly
yes.
with that whole drug
And that was like a
issue, and
concern
then
where you're like, oh, that's season 7. She comes back in season
comes
7.
back in season 7. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. But for for there to be an illusion of something, to have her make that decision, I wasn't a fan of it. I support her right to choose. It just seemed like such a 180. oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really upset that my boyfriend is getting attention from this hot college girl, which, no, they're both beautiful women, but in the way that they've designed the characters, Millicent's way better than Gigi. To
Yeah.
then be like, I'm just gonna go have sex tonight. That'll fix it. That's like people being
So
like, I'm gonna have a baby to fix my marriage.
no, I
What?
completely agree with everything that you're saying. I was just going to chime in and just say that my however was more so I'd seen this behavior in two different ways from people who have lived either a very sheltered life or haven't done much. It's either they go to the extreme, because I've seen it with like over sheltered like children, like my students that I've had over the years. They, the minute they leave their house or they go to college, it's like when they
They
come
go
back they're like a
wild.
totally different person,
Yes.
or they continue on that path and they still are going the slow path. So it's
They
like
test the
I
waters.
yes, so I can see it going both ways, and I think I agree with you. I think it is out of Millie's character.
Yeah.
However, I could also see her just throwing it to the wind because she's heartbroken, I think, for the first time. So it's
Hmm.
almost making sense that like instead of like throwing your drama into like eating your feels or drinking your feels away, which she did do the drinking, but I'm just saying like some people then maybe dabble in some narcotics or like, I'm just saying like people kind of do different things, or they chop their hair off or they get a tattoo or like they just do something crazy off the wall. Hers was getting drunk and just saying, why am I holding on to this anymore, because it didn't even work with somebody I loved and I'm waiting, like, what I mean, I
Who
could
like
see her.
cared.
Yeah, so I could see her going that route.
Yeah.
But
I have so many feels about it. I
I
have
know.
feels about Owen being like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Poor decision making all around, all
Yeah, it was
around.
just, yeah. I think honestly, I think it was the way that it was written. That's why it
Yeah.
feels that way. I think, like I said, I think if there was that conversation of just her even saying those things, like, I was waiting for to do it with a guy that I loved, and now he's breaking my heart, and like, what I mean. If even if she just said those words, I think it would have been a little bit more understandable. But it was just like, I'm getting drunk. I'm gonna lose my virginity tonight.
I think it
Like,
also is thinking about how the episode was written and what she was holding on to.
yeah.
Even later when she was in my bed and she's like, "Oh, you guys don't do anything." And she's like, "No, so he's going to start looking for the thing that I'm not giving him." I also remember feeling that way, like if I could just got this out of the way, it wouldn't be that big of a deal anymore and like I could go on and like have a normal relationship. So sure, yeah, I can see like from that standpoint of like I'm just gonna get this over with and out of the way, and then it won't have to be this big of a deal anymore. I won't have to go through this again with somebody else,
Hmm.
especially to have Mouth come alongside her and be like, "How did I get so lucky to have someone like you in my life?" To then kind of have him pigeonhole into this like attention seeking thing, being heartbroken. So like I'm following the progression. I wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
I
No,
wasn't a
I
fan.
totally get it.
And I wasn't a fan that Owen was down to do it.
Yeah. No, I know. Like I said,
Had
it
they
just, I
even
think
interacted at all?
no, I mean, again, I think because he had that relationship with Brooke, maybe it was like kind of implied that like they know of each other and like they're aware of
Well,
each
yeah,
other.
Millie was a big fan of Owen and Brooke being together, but
Yeah,
that was the extent of it. To then
yeah,
sit down at a bar and go, "I've been a virgin for 23 years and I'm going to change that tonight."
yeah.
And
No,
he was
I know.
like, "I'll do it."
Again, I think it was just poorly written and the storyline was just all over the place. But I was looking at the time and I'm like, I think
And
we
I was
should
like,
like,
"We need to break this."
yeah. So okay, so this is where okay, yeah. So anyways, like I said, I
So I
think
did. I just was like, "We need to break this
yeah,
up. This is
no, we
too
do.
much
So to
content."
go back to get back on topic, guys, we really do. There's a lot more to unpack with season
There's
six.
so much.
So
We
we're
haven't
gonna
even talked about Lucas and Peyton yet. That
I
was
know,
the
and that's what I'm
biggest
saying, like them
storyline.
and the finale and everything, and I'm just
Oh
like,
yeah, the
so,
finale.
and
I
we
have
haven't
one
even
thing.
touched on Brooke and Julian. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like,
Sam hasn't
we,
even entered the conversation.
I know, guys, we would be doing you a disservice if we tried to squeeze this all in into one episode. So I
Yep.
think we need to
We got
just
to
kind
break
of
it up.
we gotta break it up. So, stay tuned for part two, season six. It's looking like this is one of our most.
Frick, there might even be a part 3. Like
It might be. It just might
there's
be.
so
So
much content.
so much.
So much happens,
So
man.
we obviously I just want to thank again our listeners for if you have been
Yeah.
listening over these past few episodes and like going on this ride with us. We're really enjoying it. Please share the word too. Like we want more people to join our love for One Tree Hill. So like feel
Yeah.
free
Tell
to
your One Tree Hand,
yeah
One Tree Hill
yeah
fangirlies.
yeah. So
Come join our party.
okay, so we're gonna stay tuned for part two, season six.
Yes.
And we're gonna get into some more drama. So it's gonna be good. So bye
All right.
friends.
Bye, friends. We'll see you next time.